Hi everyone. So we are Team 2 and our topic is solid waste management. Our group recognizes that solid waste management is critical to promoting sustainable living in Phoenix. The main issue relating to sustainability our group will tackle is the necessity of a more efficient waste management program in the Phoenix area, as well as the need for community education on this topic to divert waste from landfills. While the City of Phoenix has put forward thousands of dollars towards waste management, we believe a systematic change is required in order to create a sustainable solution. We will use an evidence-based approach to evaluate the socio-culture, economic, and political factors related to recycling habits and the structure of the Phoenix waste management. There are many subtopics of waste management in Phoenix, and these are the ones that each member decided to do.
Hello, I'm Cole Kilroy. My subtopic of the waste management in Phoenix is the recycling program. History of Phoenix recycling program. Early in the 1980s, the city of Phoenix began to look for solutions to the growing waste issue. This issue was mainly due to the growing population size of Phoenix, and waste was soon piling up in the landfills. Officials worried they would soon overflow and be full. In 1988, the University of Arizona orchestrated a Phoenix-specific waste study of residents. In this study, it was found that 50% of waste determined by weight is recyclable, and 63% categorized by volume was determined to be recyclable. Later on, in April of 1989, Phoenix Recycling Program was launched in a small area. This area encompassed 4,000 homes in each of the 8 council districts. In March of 1990, 6,000 homes were added to the recycling program. Then in 1991, the recycling program went citywide. Here's an overview of the 8 different districts in the Phoenix area. The reasoning behind having the city of Phoenix divided up into 8 sectors is to ensure the city's services are effectively and efficiently delivered to all community residents. The vision also aids with the effective management of city services. Programs offered by Phoenix Recycling. The city of Phoenix offers a weekly collection of recyclables just like it would waste. There's also a variety of programs offered by the city of Phoenix to encourage recycling from community members. The first of these is Eco Stations. These are large roll-off bins. They look similar to a TEU. They are effectively placed in city-owned parks near large multifamily housing complexes, and community members are encouraged to use these stations. The second is appliance recycling programs. There are 2 stations in the city of Phoenix. There is a fee attached to this service and a larger fee if they come to your curbside. Next, there's green organic containers / tan containers. These are provided to homeowners with a designated purpose of organic / yard waste. Next, there is soft plastic drop-off. This program was developed and created in 2007. This is an effort between the City of Phoenix and the Arizona Food Marketing Alliance. Soft plastics are sent to a recycler and then are turned into grocery bags, composite lumber, public benches, and other general purpose items. Next, there's household hazardous waste. Public Works offers a program that assists in the safe and correct disposal of hazardous waste materials. Next, there's education programs. Curbside recycling programs are offered to the community, and then there's groups such as the Zero Waste Team who provide education to the community.
Hi, my name is Roshan, and I'll be talking about the education section of solid waste management. Now, this is Phoenix's current education plan. They have 2 main sections, Zero Waste Team and Phoenix Green Business. Zero Waste Team focuses on residential, and they have outreach programs that go out to schools, go out to events, and also give lectures. They also give free tours to anyone wanting to see the recycling plants. They also have Recycling Plus, which is their online presence, which gives online lectures as well as K through 12 educational materials. They have Master Lists, which tell people what they can compost and what they can recycle. Phoenix Green Business is for more commercial and industrial, and they also give educational programming. They also have a business sustainability checklist for businesses to be self-aware of how sustainable they are and how they can improve. The more things that you can check off on the list, the more benefits the government will provide. They also provide free water efficiency tests to upgrade your water system. Now, why is this important? This is important because Phoenix is trying to divert as much waste from the landfills as possible. This is due to the release of greenhouse gases such as methane and carbon dioxide, which absorb the sun's heat a lot more, and methane is 84 times effective at absorbing the sun's heat than CO2. And being in Phoenix, where it's already quite hot, this is already a very big issue. It is estimated that in 2021, just the Glendale landfill gave 60,000 metric tons of CO2 and 60,000 tons of metric tons of methane. Lone Cactus landfill had 64,000 metric tons of CO2 and 64,000 tons of metric tons of methane. Landfills also produce leachate, which is a contaminated liquid found at the bottom landfills that can often leak into nearby water sources, making it toxic and unsafe for humans and animals. The second biggest important thing is really the air pollution that actually comes from the release of these greenhouse gases. And a lot of the times it has been found that higher levels of these air pollutants are found in lower socioeconomic areas in metropolitan Phoenix. and this can lead to respiratory diseases, stroke, heart disease, lung cancer, among other health concerns. And there have also been lots of environmental concerns as more greenhouse gases causing it to heat up more. And a study done by USC actually states that on days with both extreme heat and air pollution, deaths were 21% more likely. Now, what needs to change? There are three big things that really need to change for Phoenix to reach its 2050 goals. The first is accessibility. There are certain programs such as the compost program, which is the green organics collection program that is only for very specific residences, and it is mostly in affluent areas. There's also very little knowledge of a lot of the programs that go on, and the website is very inconsistent and not very upfront with all the information that you can get. There's also a big issue with consistency. The city of Phoenix has different rules than the city of Mesa or even the city of Gilbert. For example, Mesa does not allow for glass recycling while the city of Phoenix does. They also have different programs such as EcoStation locations, which are drop-off recycling stations, which the city of Phoenix has, but according to the city of Mesa, they have been indefinitely closed. The third biggest thing is motivation. Without really any motivation, their residences and businesses aren't going to be willing to change their practices in order to really help out the environment if there aren't really incentives for them. In a report on smokers actually who were pressured to stop through incentives, it resulted in 83.83% produced statistically significant increases in abstinence rates due to having incentives. So with a combination of all three of these things added into their educational plan, the 2050 goals can definitely be reached. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Grace. My subtopic of solid waste management in Phoenix is going to be hazardous waste. For waste to be considered hazardous, it must fit one of the categories ignitable, corrosive, toxic, and/or reactive or unstable. I want to start off by talking about the IWU controversy and how hazardous waste management is an issue of environmental justice in Phoenix. So the IWU, which stands for Innovative Waste Utilization, was a hazardous waste facility that doubled its operations in 2001 in South Phoenix, which is a historically low-income community with many polluting businesses. This decision was heavily protested by the South Phoenix community due to negative health and environmental impacts, but the IWU expanded anyways. 2 years later, IWU employees were caught trading hazardous chemicals and conspiring to dump hazardous waste in an Arizona public landfill. Diane Sicko actually wrote a really great article about this, highlighting the environmental injustice occurring in South Phoenix, particularly regarding hazardous waste. Next, I want to talk about the Phoenix HHW program, which stands for Household Hazardous Waste. The HHW program used to hold 2 meetings a month that hosted around 700 visitors. After COVID-19, they canceled all of these events and encouraged citizens to instead use one of 3 drop-off locations around the city. The average number of customers then decreased to 200 a month. Finally, in 2021, HHW launched the home pickup service where you must call and schedule for them to come to your house anytime between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. once a year. As of October 31st, Phoenix has announced that drop-off locations are no longer available and home pickup is the only way to dispose of your hazardous waste in Phoenix. Finally, on a lighter note, I want to talk about brownfields and our success with cleaning them up. Brownfields are areas that are contaminated due to leftover hazardous substances and petroleum. They put the environment at risk as well as human health. The Phoenix Brownfield Recycling Program is a program committed to cleaning up brownfields. They've actually already restored 322 acres of brownfields since 1998, and they've created/maintained over 3,000 jobs. A program I really like is the Rio Reimagined project. Nearly 2,000 areas within a mile of the Salt, Agua Fria, and Gila rivers are potential brownfields, so the city of Phoenix actually partnered with ASU as well as Avondale and Tempe to revitalize this land. One example of a restored brownfield is the Rio Salado Habitat Restoration Area, which I actually went to a couple weeks ago, and I think it looks so much better. I hope that the Phoenix government can continue to do this with the rest of the land that they've promised to clean up.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I focused on composting.
Fruits and vegetables are the largest portions of food waste that occurs in the United States, and food waste in general is a major concern that the city of Phoenix faces. It's also the 3rd biggest methane contributor within the world, obviously lacking behind China and United States overall, as we can see in the diagram here. And then the biggest strengths that composting in general has, and that the city of Phoenix does, is that they already do compost slightly. It does focus primarily on goods that are within like yard waste. A lot of the or at least the local bins that you can use that are curbside are all yard waste. However, any compost sites that you can bring your stuff to includes composted materials like fruits and vegetables, crushed eggshells, coffee grounds, and tea bags, as you can see on the left. And then on the right is obviously materials that you can't compost, but things like glass and plastic you can recycle. I really wanted to put on the plants. I thought that was interesting because you would think that all plants can be compostable, but important things like eucalyptus and pine needles was interesting to read about how plants like that can't be compostable, as well as weeds. And then the third, would be the strategies and the outcomes that the community of Phoenix would want. I read an article or a study that was conducted in the city of Phoenix that looked at what individuals would like regarding waste, especially food waste. And the big things that the individuals mentioned was composting services. There was a lack of them. It'll be mentioned the programs that the city of Phoenix is trying to do, but overall, it sounded like individuals within Phoenix said that there was a lack of education behind it or understanding. There is just minor information on the website regarding what individuals can do, but it's not very informative. It doesn't reach a lot of people. They also suggested to persuade people and get them to compost, compensation and rewards for people who are hesitant about composting. And then, they also encourage citywide composting services rather than what Roshan will mention will be just the brown bins that people can choose to pay for every month. But once again, it's a monthly fee and it's only available in certain areas, so it really restricts people from composting. But places like San Francisco mandated composting within the city in October of 2009, which allowed both companies and individuals to not only educate themselves, but also give them an opportunity to compost. And a lot of the compost that they use is then contributed to local areas like their vineyards. And they mentioned, vineyards and nut growers within the area. So it definitely not only benefits the city, but other communities as well.
I'm Claren, and I'm focusing on the accessibility aspect of recycling and waste management within Phoenix. So first, there are 3 of the main programs within the city that are run by the government of Phoenix. Are transfer stations, eco stations, and then household hazardous waste pickups. So first, transfer stations. This isn't incredibly accessible, but they're large locations, so it's hard to have them too spread out around the map. So there is one in the northern section of Phoenix and one in the southern. And basically what happens is that a lot of different kinds of waste is dumped here, and then materials recovery facilities come in, sort through, categorize, and send out the waste to its appropriate location to be dealt with accordingly. Eco stations are large recycling bins that can be used by neighborhoods or just small communities, businesses, and these can be rented out and brought to wherever you want, which is a step up. And there are also 7 permanent locations of these in parks throughout Phoenix, which is pretty good for the neighborhoods that are nearby so that they have something walkable distance that they can dispose of their recycling into. And then the household hazardous waste, this program is for smaller chemicals and things like that. And you can have them scheduled pickups at your household, but it's only once a year per household that you can schedule one of these. And so you have to schedule it wisely and not use it too quickly. And these maps, the first one is of the different transfer stations, and the second is where the Green Organics program is within Phoenix in the highlighted area. And lastly, the cost can be another way of not being completely accessible to all incomes in all households, because the different programs like refrigerant containing appliances can be picked up, but it's $25 each, which is not always doable. And the Green Organics containers are $5 a month per bin per household, which is a way to compost and put a lot of green materials in there, but some people don't want to pay for it and would rather just put it in the trash. And then Green Planet 21 is a program not run by the city of Phoenix, but it's another way of getting large quantities of recycling and to deal with that kind of waste.